also work. So we might see ourselves soon. There we go. I think we're live. All right, great. Anyway, so yes, this is the first stream on this channel. Somebody asked if I wanted to do a live stream at some point to just talk and stuff like that, and that's what we're going to be doing today. I don't really have any idea how many people are going to be watching. Possibly nobody. Why am I not seeing any movement over here? What's going on? Let's listen. Nope, that's fine. Great. Hope you guys can hear me as well. According to OBS, we should be receiving audio. Should be okay. Like I said, I'm not really sure how many people are going to show up. We'll just wait and see. But in any case, I figured we would do something that a lot of tarot streamers tend to do, and that is do readings for certain astrological signs. I don't normally do that. Normally I do like more true crime stuff, but the topics that people want me to do readings on for the true crime stuff, they're kind of like a little bit more in depth. I want to make sure to really take my time with certain things, and that means I'll want to make a whole video out of that and really focus on that instead of doing something real quick and easy. Yeah. Just looking at the screen to see what's going on. Looks like YouTube wants to tell me now about all the different aspects of going live or something. I don't know why they didn't do that before. Anyway, before we get started on the first bunch, I'm just going to pull the list of all the not the list of the list. The list of all the houses, or rather the suits. There we go. I want to let you know that usually when, of course, I record a video, you don't always see everything that happens during the recording and during the reading, because obviously all the shuffling, most of that is cut out because that takes a long time to do. Aside from that, I tend to talk really fast, and that means I tend to stumble over my words and stuff like that. That usually gets cut out of the video as well. But okay, we're going to see how it works out live. Hopefully we'll be able to get through most sentences without too much hiccups. And other than that, let's just try to have some fun. I think I'll be here for about an hour, and then we'll see what happens. And if people would like to see this more often, we could plan a stream about once a month or something, whenever I feel the right energy, of course, because you do need to be in the right mindset for this type of thing. At least I always feel like you do. And I have 3 decks sitting beside me right now, rather one in my hand, 2 beside me. This is the Angel Tarot deck. I don't have the booklet on me right now, so I'm not really sure if that's the exact name, but it's a deck heavily focused on angels, as you can see, with the wings, etc. I also have here the Vice Versa Tarot deck, which is this one with the cards that you can turn around, because it has like multiple looks at the same type of thing, as you can see. So you can have 4 different directions in which you read these. And we also have the Tarot of the Magical Forest, which is with the little forest creatures. I'm pretty sure if you've watched a bunch of my videos, you've seen them before. Cards like this, see, with the little creatures on there and stuff like that. And you'll know what decks they are, but just in case this is the first time you've ever seen any of my stuff, if you just stumble onto this live stream or like, hey, what deck's going on here? What are these cards? Then you know what that is. Also, I always tend to say that in my videos. I'll repeat that here, and perhaps I'll have to repeat that in other readings as well. Or rather now as well, that I am an intuitive reader. I'm just going to shuffle the cards and see what I get, and then we'll just at least... I'll read that, however the cards speak to me about what it is that they're trying to say about the subject even. See, here we go. First stutter is in. Great. And then we'll just see what we get. And if you see any other like meanings or explanations in the cards, you have a different interpretation, you can let me know that as well in the comment section or in the chat if you do happen to be here during the live stream. And let's just get started. I am going to do the astrological ones. I got a list here with the signs. I'm thinking what I'm going to do for the next few weeks, or rather a month maybe. We'll just see what the universe wants to say about that. And since they really love attention, I think we're going to start with Leo. And if I do manage to get through all 12, I'll make sure to also put timestamps in. And if we don't get through all 12 in this hour, then perhaps we're just going to have to do the rest in another video. I don't know, I'll edit the video together for all the different timestamps. We'll see, but we're looking at Leo right now then. So for the foreseeable future, what should Leo keep in mind, and we're gonna shuffle live, so this could take a lot longer than the usual videos, because normally I cut about, I would say, 2/3 of the shuffling time out. So Leo, what should we let Leo know? Oop, that's a lot of cards right there. That's too much. Now normally if they're like 3, I would definitely grab those, because I am an intuitive reader. I'll just see which ones I need. Any of these? These two. Okay, great. So we got a couple of cards already. This is 3. We've got, this is the 3 of Wands. All right. And I wanted to travel. We got a reversed King of Swords here. We've got the Strength card is up though. That's good. And we've got, not that the others weren't good, 8 of Cups in reverse. So we're hanging in there. That's what the Strength is saying. I also need to move this list so I can see what's making it onto the stream here. Oh, I can see it on my own camera. Duh. All this wishy-washy stuff, of course, isn't visible in the videos either. So I have to do all this live. Okay, and we have, this is, looks like the High Priestess. Yes. Great. So that's the first bunch right here. Don't know how much exactly I'm going to give you, but we'll just do a few more until I feel like I've got enough. Oop. Are you going to fall? No? Okay. So far we've got somebody looking to make some moves, but there's a King of Swords in reverse, so that might be somebody, could be you, like, I don't know. I see the baby on the card as well, and it's almost like a sort of Damocles situation, or what's his name again? Oh gee, the King Solomon situation as well. Like unable to, or making it have to make a difficult decision, something like that. But you do have the strength for that and an unwillingness to let that go. And then we see the High Priestess over here as well. Kind of like a, I have the insight, or at least you should focus on your intuition and your meditation. I do feel like we need a few more cards, or like the outcome perhaps. Anything else today? Anybody want to come in? Rather, any cards want to come in? Oops, there we go. These two. Okay. I think this is it for now. I'm going to try to center these guys a little bit. So we're working on a Leo reading right now for the foreseeable future. We already have here the 3 of Wands, which I see as wanting to make a move. And also you're kind of downing about that, because you can see this card right here with the angel and the devil on either side, like trying to push you to choose one thing or the other. And it is a tough decision, so you might have to make some pretty close calls, I almost want to say, or you want to do something, or you have to do something. Somebody's forcing your hand to say something, perhaps, because the sword suit, of course, is all about thoughts and words, communication, that type of thing. And they are going to perhaps push you into making a decision. And you're going to have a lot of strength, and you're not going to back away, which is what this 8 of Cups is telling me over here. And once again, we got somebody with a spying glass, so it's more insight as well. It's like you're going to go deep within and figure out, also with this High Priestess, what the right course of action is going to be, what the right words are going to be. So you don't need to worry too much about that. We also have here the Moon in reverse, which I always see as actually figuring out what's hidden underneath. And we have here the Queen of Cups. All right, so this could be your energy then, like you're going to try to do the best that you can with the information that you have. And the Queen of Cups is somebody that comes across to me as very gentle, also very well balanced emotionally. So perhaps you're going to be in a very good emotional, I wouldn't want to call it a head space, more of a heart space, I guess, in the coming month. That's going to allow you to do all this without too much hiccups. Is there anything that we need to watch out for? Whoops, come on. Let's see. That wants to fall. Okay, good. That's too much though. Anything the Leos need to watch out for this month? You want to go? Good. Okay. What do we have? the Knave of Pentacles, which is basically a Page of Pentacles. And I always read that as a sudden thing, and because it's a Pentacles thing, it's like you might want to watch your expenses this month. You might get a unexpected surprise. You might actually get a bill that you weren't expecting. You might have to deal with that. So don't spend too frivolously, I would say, because you might need that money for other things. That's what I'm seeing for you guys. So somebody or something might push you in a situation where you have to make a choice, because Solomon had to choose which woman had to or was allowed to keep the baby, and because neither was actually willing to give up the baby, he ended up cutting him in half, and that's a really tough choice to make. Don't know, of course, if that ever happened, because who knows, but it seems like you're going to have at least a somewhat tough decision to make. And it's really going to tug on your strings, not really heartstrings, although we do see the cups of energy back here. But like you see the little angel and the devil over there trying to push you either way. But you're going to have to start to go through it and not walk away from this tough decision by going internal with your meditation and your mind, your intuition, which is also shown here by the reverse moon. And you're going to be able to make a good decision. I think that's going to make everybody else happy around you as well, at least satisfied that things were done fairly, because it's almost like they are coming for you because they feel that you're going to be the best person to make a decision there. And like I said, right on the tail end, Page of Cups over here, Page of Pentacles over here might mean that you have some unexpected expenses. I don't think it's necessarily related to this. I don't feel it's related to this decision, but more like, hey, bill that you weren't expecting, something you may have ordered or something that, I don't know, couldn't come through. We have to do something else, pay for extra things, and so make sure not to spend all your money. Could also be a positive thing, could even be like a somebody gives you some money, but usually when I see this, at least when I caught the card just now, I was like, okay, this is an unexpected expense, but pages are usually surprises. Maybe you'll get some money from somebody that you weren't expecting, and there might be something attached to it. I don't know, but that's what I'm seeing for the Leos for now. So let's go move on to the next one. I've got them listed according to the elements. Next one would be Aries. Let me just quickly mark Leo here so I know who I've had and who I haven't had. There we go. I'm going to put these guys in here. I think I'll grab a different deck for the next one. Try to shuffle these. Don't really have a good tablecloth for this. Normally I like to do that on a solid surface, but when there's a tablecloth involved, it doesn't go too well. Okay, putting this one aside, we're going to grab the creatures of the magical forest for Aries. Also, in case you guys hadn't noticed, I still got my Easter deck out here, my Easter tablecloth, because it was Easter yesterday and I didn't feel like clearing it up just yet. But okay, let's move on. For the people that just walked in, we are doing star signs because the true crime stuff and stuff like that I always want to take more time with, so we don't want to do that right now. I really want to focus on those things, and I'd rather do something quick and easy for a live stream. So we're moving on to Aries, the next fire sign on my list. Let's see what Aries needs to look out for the next month or so. Next foreseeable future. Anything at all. Oh, that's another pile of cards once again. Come on. Any of these? Well, some of these for sure. This one in any case. Again, the reversed moon is back. So that's two fire signs that are going to be seeing some secrets revealed. Okay. And the star. Okay, so Aries might actually be working on getting some recognition. That's what's coming up for me right now. Perhaps your revelation will have something to do with you actually stepping up. I got headphones on. I don't know why. I thought that I would be able to play some music in the background, but that didn't work. OBS wouldn't allow me to play some Windows Media Player stuff. So I don't need to wear these headphones. Makes it a little easier to hear myself, or rather hear myself like I normally would. Oh, there we go. We got a whole bunch of cards here. These guys fell up, so I'm gonna accept them as they are. We've got the King of Swords upright, okay, Ace of Cups reverse, all right, and we've got the Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay, that's interesting, because usually the Cups Ace is like a new love, a new emotional start of something, and this perhaps is not going to happen, or at least not yet. Star is rising though. We have the star coming up, or maybe there's going to be light shown on you in the coming future, perhaps. And we have the King of Swords energy again, but this time for Aries. I think, looking at it this way, there's going to be some hasty action, because we have the Knight of Wands here for you guys next to the Ace of Cups that's reversed. So perhaps either something that you expected to happen for you or to start happening for you, like a new relationship, isn't going to happen, doesn't quite materialize, and that's going to make you do certain things that's going to be unexpected, or rather off the cuff, head over heels, or it could be as a result of words that you're going to speak. And it doesn't even have to be a bad thing. What I'm looking at here is you've got the Moon in reverse. I'll just grab these two first, actually. Moon in reverse and the Star upright next to the King of Swords. And to me, that really seems like speaking the truth and shining actually in your ability to speak the truth and to be upright about things. Also, you are able, or at least aware of certain things that may have wanted to stay hidden. Certain secrets coming to the surface. Perhaps that's what you're going to tell people, like, hey, I know that this and that is a thing, and people are going to be unhappy with you because of that, and they're going to have a bit of a falling out, but you will probably take some hasty actions as a result of that. So perhaps even though you want to tell the truth, you're going to end up I don't know, being shocked, I guess, by people's negative reactions, and therefore taking actions of your own that might not be the best. We have 3 extra cards here. And this is the World reverse. All right, so that might actually have you not being looked on too favorably. We got the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. No charities accepted. And the 4 of Swords in reverse as well. Also not taking a break. Okay, so altogether this kind of seems to me like you're speaking your truth, and it's not having the effect that you really want it, and these actions that you're taking over here are going to make you lose a bit of, I guess, I don't know, favor with certain people. There's like less charity happening here, and you're not going to take a break from that. You're not going to rest on your laurels, so to speak. So you might want to watch your actions most of all. I think this part here with the telling your truth is always good. You should always tell people the truth, what you feel, what you think. I noticed that there's a glare on the card. My lamp has a tendency to do that. So we have these 3 over here. Tell your truth always. And when people do come for you because of that, and certain people kind of turn their back on you because of this, even though it is tempting to want to act out because of that, you probably shouldn't, because that might make you lose more than you want. I don't see this as a permanent thing, that you're not going to lose favor with people permanently, but you might be going into a bit of a rocky patch, so to speak, a bumpy road. And stubborn as you are, you're not going to take it lying down, because the 4 of Swords is in reverse. You're probably just going to keep at it, stubbornly so, as a matter of fact. Anything else that we need to tell our Aries? Anything else Aries might like to know? Doesn't have to be related, obviously, but let's just shuffle a few times to see if we can get anything. Anything at all? Doesn't look, oh, there we go. I was about to say it doesn't look like we're going to get anything, but we do have one thing we have here. This is the Lovers. Okay, so I think this is just here to tell you that this situation over here, like I said earlier, it's not a permanent thing. And I think ultimately the people that were going to be upset with you for speaking your truth are going to realize that, yeah, actually he is right or she is right, and they will turn around. So I think you're going to temporarily rock the boat in some way, And people are going to be, oh, like, what's going on here? I didn't expect Aries to say that to me this week or this month. And they're going to struggle with you for a bit. But ultimately, it's going to turn out all right. Or it could be that certain people, because it is a lovers like two people type of card, that certain people, now that they know what you're all about, are going to approach you because of that. Like, hey, I feel the same way. So maybe you'll actually make some new connections that way. That would be a good outcome as well. Okay, so that's Aries. Hi, can I ask you a question? Sure. I am going to move on to Sagittarius, so you might have to be a little patient. And for Sagittarius, I think I'll grab the next deck. I think I'll just switch decks every time. First, get this one sorted for the next bunch. Here we go. There. I don't have that fancy way of actually putting them back in a pile. Like some people have this weird thing they do. I can't do that. All right, so that is Aries done. Next sign is Sagittarius. Also, please note that the stream is at least 15 to 20 seconds behind me, maybe even more. So if you ask a question and I don't respond immediately, it'll be because of that. Oh, hang on. I just kind of dropped that one. Anyway, Sagittarius, what is up for Sagittarius this month? Let's see what we can get for that. This is the Vice Versa Tarot deck, in case you were wondering. Come on. What do we got here? Oop, there we go. 3 of Pentacles. It was just turned this way, so that's upper right. So we're looking at a work situation, new projects, new people at work maybe. 7 of Swords. All right, so somebody might be looking to pull a fast one on you at work. Maybe stealing your thunder. Oop. This is the Queen of Cups. Okay, so make sure to control your emotions. You might want to, I guess you might feel like you want to lash out because of this, because it is going to be unfair. 7 of Swords is always going to be manipulation, somebody perhaps talking behind your back or stealing your project, saying that they did more work than they actually did, if anything at all. And then we have the 10 of Swords reversed. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, we're not done yet, don't worry, but I'm just going to take a look at these 4 cards right here. So we got the 3 of Pentacles that tells us that it is a work-related situation that you're going to be dealing with, or that might come up for you, Sagittarius. Let me grab these 2 as well. Somebody's going to try and mess with you in a work-related situation, and you're going to take this Queen of Cups energy, or it could be that the person who is going to be doing this to you is somebody who has a lot of emotional sway over people. But there is the 10 of Swords in reverse, and when I first saw that, I actually felt like, because it's also the back side of the card, like normally you see one person laying there all stabbed, but we see another person. I feel like this person is you, and I think you're like in this kind of like taking a step back mode. Like, oh, okay, yeah, you can take the credit for this because I know that you can't replicate this anyway. So the next time they ask you to do something for work, eventually they're just going to say, okay, I guess you're not as good as I thought you were because XYZ or Sagittarius does it better, and probably the truth will come out. But we're not done yet, so let's see what else we can get. Oops, that's a lot. Oh, it's only 3. This is the Hierophant in reverse, so it might make them actually fall from grace with somebody who is at the top somewhere. And the 4 of Pentacles, kind of guarding your investment, and the 3 of Cups is... 3 of Cups is more like usually like a gathering of people, friends and stuff like that. So what I'm seeing for you now, yeah. So this person is going to try and steal your thunder at work or some type of project, something that you're working on, and they're not going to get away with that because we have the Hierophant in reverse and the 10 of Swords in reverse. I see this as you not being super bothered by this, and actually somebody higher up not really accepting their talk either, or their nonsense, because you're holding on to your guns, and somebody else I think is going to actually come to your aid and like realize that, hey, actually this is your project, and perhaps you're also going to step in and let everybody know, including this Hierophant over here, that this other person is actually a liar, or that they didn't do quite as much as they're trying to make it seem that they did. Do we want anything else? I think we should take a look if we can get anything else for Sagittarius for this next month. I can't really chat right now because, of course, I'm busy doing the thing with the cards. So if you do want to ask a question, make sure to let me know. All right, next card. This is the Queen of Wands reversed, and also the back side. I feel like this is still connected to this situation over here. Like they're going to perhaps take some actions that are not in their favor or anybody else's favor. It might be a storming off type of thing. Like they'll have this moment where they go, hey, this is actually my work, with the Seven of Swords over here, and then they'll get caught, and then they'll do something, I don't know, throw a fit or something along those lines. But I don't think you need to worry about that. I don't see that being a negative thing for you, because you have the Three of Cups over here. So people are going to recognize your work, or at the very least realize behind the scenes perhaps even that it was you who did all this. And you don't need to worry about them, because they're going to storm off and do their own thing. They'll be exposed, I guess, is the thing I'm trying to say here. So yeah, make sure to keep your cool. I think this card is the most important in this situation right here. You need to keep cool and look at things from a distance. It's not as bad as it seems. And this person who is stabbed to death multiple times in the foreground, they're going to probably, I don't know, cause a big fuss. I almost see these swords as being the swords that were stolen over here with the Seven of Swords right here. They're sneaking off away from you initially, and then they're going to get caught, and they're going to throw a whole fit, because they do come up here as the Queen of Wands, and they're going to be very melodramatic, and you're just going to take a step back and go, wow, is that really necessary? And the higher-ups will probably see that as well, and in any case, you will get support. That's what I'm seeing for Sagittarius. And they're going to throw a fit later down the line as well. Perhaps they'll grumble about it for some time in the future. I think that's kind of the card over here. That's what they're saying. Okay, that's for Sagittarius. Real quick, got that one. Let's take a look. So if you want to ask a question, make sure to put that in the comments section, or rather the chat over there. I can see the chat, but like I said earlier, the delay between the stream and what I'm actually doing live is about 15 to 20 seconds, maybe longer. So if I don't get back to you immediately, it's not that I'm ignoring you, it's just that I haven't, or at least my answer hasn't made it across the internet yet to you. Next, I'm going for Pisces. Let's see what Pisces has, what Pisces needs to look at for next month. Also, if you just joined us, I know that I normally do like true crime stuff, mysteries that are unsolved, and a couple of times also political things, pop culture stuff. Like a couple of people asked me to do readings on Trisha Paytas a couple of times. But because this is a live stream and those are subjects that I normally want to take a little bit more time with to focus on, I decided to do more astrological readings this time, and that's why we're moving through the signs. So Pisces, what is Pisces going to be doing for the next month, or rather? Yeah, the rabbit tablecloth is my Easter tablecloth. I really enjoy the colorful nature as well. It's very cute. It has some dirt and damage from yesterday because we had dinner here and stuff moved around, and whenever people have dinner on a temporary tablecloth, stuff happens, but it's still reasonably unscathed, so I'm glad about that. Because here in the Netherlands we have 2 days of Easter, so I got to use it both days. That's great. Pisces. What does Pisces need to focus on or be wary of this month? Or the next foreseeable future in any case. What do we got? anything at all, Pisces. Now, this is the sort of thing that I would normally, of course, cut out when I'm doing a video. Here's one card at least. Temperance in reverse. Okay, you might lose your temper. And Pisces, of course, being a water sign, does tend to have emotions rather easily. We have the Fool here. All right. So watch your temper. Make sure to let the universe guide you. Oop. Yep, there we go. Now the universe is coming in. This is the Queen of Swords in reverse. Oh, we're getting a lot of Kings and Queens of Swords today. A lot of sword energy. So she might be somebody, or it might be you, who is speaking up and perhaps not speaking the most truthful. Perhaps you need to watch your words. We have here the Four of Pentacles, and it is saying that you might want to watch your money, or perhaps not be so stingy. Depends on what the other cards are going to say. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so this is a work situation that we're dealing with. That might not be great. Maybe actually just popped into my head. Perhaps you're being very careful at work, and that might actually hurt your work in a way. Like you're not taking enough risks. There we go. So here we go with the Ace of Pentacles. So these three over here, or actually all of it. Let's just read them as a group. Any of that shining? That's okay. This one is not quite visible. I got a lamp right over the table. I tried to cover it up with all sorts of things to make it easier to see the cards, but it doesn't always work. Anyway, from the start, we have here the Temperance card in reverse. We have the Fool, and we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. I see this little lineup as watch your temper and try not to get caught up in too many things. Just let the universe do what it wants to do and guide you where you need to be, and don't say anything too rashly, Queen of Swords, because the Queen of Swords is very methodical. She tends to be very logical and can really cut people with her words. So try to be gentle with that as well when things aren't going too great, because it might actually cost you an opportunity in business, because we see here the Ace of Pentacles in reverse next to the Three of Pentacles in reverse next to the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Like you're holding on to things. Perhaps you're being too careful, or you're like doing the wrong thing. Perhaps you're going to be doing the wrong thing just when the boss is looking and they're going to go, nah, we don't really need this guy for a promotion. Just give it to Johnny because he's better. I don't know. Because you need to be very careful with that, because you could be very easily passed up. The thing with, I've always noticed this is more of a personal thing now. Oh, my battery's running low. I'll just plug that in while I tell my story. Anyway, so personally, I've always experienced that your boss doesn't always know what you're doing. There we go. And if you happen to do something when the boss is looking that really stands out to them, they could like remember you for that one thing. Like a coworker of mine had once been unable to fill a certain shift because she had a sick kid at home, and for the next 5 to 10 years, whenever she had a job review, she would always get a part in there that said that she was inflexible, even though it had only happened one time. It happened when the boss needed her, and that's where I guess the link was made with her being inflexible, and so they kept putting that on her performance review. So you need to watch what you're doing so that you don't get something like that similarly happening to you. You don't get like a certain moment where the boss happens to be watching you being too lazy or too perfectionistic, because you might want to do a really, really good job and then you end up messing it up somehow. And that's the moment that the boss turns around and looks at you or sees something on your screen and goes, oh, is that really how you're doing things around here? I don't think we're going to give you that new opportunity, because the aces are always new opportunities. In this case, next to these two in particular, I would say this is a job opportunity that you might miss if you're not careful. So we're just going to go ahead, shuffle some more, see if we can get any more about this situation. This is for Pisces, in case you missed it. We're doing astrology readings today. We have the moon again. We had that one earlier as well. So there might be things hidden motivations for certain people, like other people. There's probably going to be stuff that you're not aware of that might make you act a certain way. So if you're in a situation that makes you go, oh my God, this is so unreasonable and I don't know why this is happening to me, and that's when you act out, try to be more the fool maybe just ask questions rather than accusations, because the Queen of Swords, like I said, can really cut with her words. Just let things slide and try to let it go. Don't be too upset, because there is stuff going on according to the moon over here that you're not aware of, and that might have explained a thing or two and made you react in a different way if you had known. So be careful with that, and then you might not miss that opportunity. This does seem to be a very work-related reading for Pisces this month. And Judgment, yeah, withhold your judgment, because Judgment is in reverse. So because you don't know all the facts, make sure not to judge too harshly. I think you should just kind of lay low. Just let, like I said, the universe guide you. And maybe if you do end up missing this opportunity, it's not going to be your fault, because the universe apparently wants you to chill and just wait this one out. It's not really something you can help with, and particularly not something you can help with if you get into your reverse queen energy over here and start saying harsh things, because that might not be the best course of action. It's normally not the best course of action to just lash out with your tongue, because you know, like I said, you don't always know the situation, and certain people react very differently to words than you might. Still shuffling, because I feel like there should be at least one more card here for you guys. Just a generic, or at least something important that we haven't seen yet for Pisces. Oh, relax. Just want one or two. Not everything. That looks like it right there. What do we got? Oh, we got 3 actually. All right, so the 5 of Pentacles is like a backdropping thing. That's, I think, the next warning, like, okay, try not to be too harsh, because you might end up cutting yourself more than you know. 2 of Pentacles, be careful with your finances. And we have here the Knight of Wands. You might be wary of fighting, or it might end up leading to a lot of wariness. So yes, I think this is a pretty, I would say, yeah, urgent, not really urgent, but more like a, hey, heads up, Pisces, relax this month. Don't try to do too many things. Don't try to talk to people, I don't know, when you're upset. Take a break. If you need to, excuse yourself to the bathroom. If you have, like, I don't know, well, I guess people are on Zoom calls more than regular calls now, or regular meetings at the moment. But if you need to take a break, a step away from the computer, or a step away from the person that's currently annoying you business-wise, and just let it flow, because you might end up losing a lot more than you want if you don't. So make sure to seek some balance here with this 2 of Pentacles, so you don't get too worn out this month. That is it for Pisces. I'm going to get rid of all these cards real quick. How have you guys had your Easter holiday? Have you done anything fun? We did the usual traditional stuff over here. My mother brought my aunt and my brother, and we always go and do some grave maintenance, family graves. Doesn't sound super fun and exciting, but it's just our thing, I guess. Take care of some family graves, just walk around a bit, look at all the pretty headstones, even though that doesn't sound like a great thing, but still. Some people have very interesting headstones here that really show a person's personality. In that sense, can be interesting to watch. Here is Pisces done, and now we're moving on to Scorpio. Did I miss Aquarius? No, Aquarius is still coming up. Aquarius is going to be in another 4. I got Scorpio here right now, and then we've got Cancer, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I could push Aquarius to the top of the air signs, and then we can go ahead and do that one first. Don't really need to hold this particular order, but I'm just going in the order of the elements. We're doing Scorpio right now, so this one's for Scorpio. I'll just move this one over here then, because we have an Aquarius, and we'll just put the others over there. I'll just put a little thing here. There we go. Scorpio. All right. The water signs, number 2, Scorpio. First one we got here is the Emperor. This is the Magical Forest Tarot deck, in case you're wondering. It has lovely forest creatures, although pigs, boars are in the forest, but pigs themselves not really. But the Emperor is here, so you might be looked at with quite a lot of reference, I would say. The Emperor is a very stately character. You might be taking care of some people, might be guiding them through certain things. Or it could be that somebody's doing that for you. Let's take a look what the rest of the cards say. We have the Star in reverse. Okay, could also be somebody losing that position almost. Let's see what we got here. Oop. The Star is in reverse. I always see that as somebody losing the spotlight, could be, but it could also just be losing, I guess, respects, or people are ignoring them a little bit. Whoop. A little bit much, maybe. All right, we also have here, we have a lot of cards now. This one landed on its side. I'm going to give them uprights. Doesn't really matter if it's on the side. 10 of Swords, darkness before the dawn. So this is starting to look like Scorpio is going to actually take a bit of a hit on the reputation this month. And they're going to be very upset about that, but you shouldn't be, because the 10 of Swords, darkness before the dawn, it's not really necessary to be so melodramatic, and therefore don't worry too much about it. We do have here Knave of Pentacles, that's the Page of Pentacles in reverse, so it might cost you something financially, or perhaps an opportunity. Not a super huge opportunity because it's not the ace, but it could be that you might end up just missing something. It's almost like you go to a store and you want something specific and somebody in front of you just grabs the last item or something along those lines. A little bit like that type of energy. We also have here the Knave of Swords, so you might end up saying some harsh words, like a knee-jerk reaction almost. I always have like this lineup happening whenever I do my readings. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so it might be either slightly bad fortune, or perhaps things aren't changing. And my cards are going the wrong direction. Let's change that at the very least. There we go. 6 of Wands in reverse and the 10 of Wands in reverse. So again with the reputation again, because the 6 of Wands normally is like hailing the hero, that type of thing. People think you're cool, stuff like that. But in this case, it's actually in reverse, and it's almost like you're working really hard to try and get that back. Yeah, so Scorpios need to be careful not to overburden themselves this month. These two in particular make me feel like, because you're upset over here with the losing the star quality and feeling a little bit down on yourself, you're going to have a slight financial or resource hit, and that's going to make you lash out a little bit. We all know about that scorpion's tail, so perhaps that's going to also make it so that certain things aren't changing. Even if you want certain changes to happen, you might actually halt the changes because of that, and that is going to ultimately perhaps make it even worse for you. So I think you should also, just like Pisces, just kind of chill this month. Don't lash out. I have Scorpio rising, so I know all about the knee-jerk reaction, like, hey, that's not right, or hey, that's unfair, stuff like that. So that's a thing. Let's see what you guys are saying. Been studying tarot over the past 6 months. I'm still fairly new to actually reading for people. I've adopted your style of shuffling until the cards fall out. Yeah, I always like that very much myself. It's like I don't like to pull the cards myself so much, because I will feel like that's kind of forced. So that's why I like to shuffle until they fall. At least then you know it's truly random. Do you feel this way is most effective? Do you ever shuffle and lay cards out the traditional way, i.e. just dealing from the deck after it's cut? No, don't normally do that. Yeah, I see, like every time I buy a new tarot deck, it'll come with a booklet and it'll have like a whole explanation in like certain patterns that you can lay down. Let's see if I can find one real quick. Do you guys have one? Normally there's like the Celtic cross and the past, present, future. Oh, here we go. Here's one, for instance. This type of thing, I always ignore that. I always feel that's kind of like restricting in a way. Now, if you're like a tarot reader and you really love doing the Celtic cross because it feels like really legit to you, then perfectly fine to do that. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. But for me personally, I always find that very restrictive. And I always feel like perhaps I'm putting the card in the wrong place. So I like to do it just like I do right now. I just shuffle and let the cards fall and just line them up and then see the connections between them. I find that this works best for me. And so that's how I do it. But I have had definitely a few people in the comment section of previous videos saying that they usually do it this way or that way, or that they have different interpretations for the cards. That's all fine. I like to read intuitively because that gives me the best results. At least I feel that gives me the best results. Scorpio. Do we need anything more for Scorpio in between time? Like I said, you might actually take a little hit this month, but don't act too quickly. Don't say too many negative things, or rather just keep your cool, because that might make things worse and might halt your change, like I said, and might make you overburdened and feel even worse. I'm not really sure if this is actually going to make your reputation fall because of the Six of Wands in reverse over here. I'll just show you the frog card over here. They're very cute. But I think it's going to, at the very least, feel like your reputation is falling. And that's going to make you feel very burdened. Although it's in reverse, so it might even be a mental burden or a prolonged burden. Or you could feel like, okay, I got that out of my system, it's fine. But usually reverse, I tend to see that as an internal thing. And then it's kind of like, it's really weighing on your mind type of thing. Perhaps you feel like you really lost it. But I don't think there's any need to feel that way. Let's see if we can get anything. I feel like I need to draw a few more cards for our Scorpio. For instance, we got here the King of Pentacles, or coins as they call them over here, sitting on his throne. So I think ultimately you're going to be okay. It's more of a resources thing with the Pentacles here. So I don't think you're going to lose things necessarily. You're not going to lose things, but I think it's going to be more of an emotional, mental thing that's going to affect you most of all, or somebody's going to come in and actually help you out with that, because you did get the negative version over here with the Page of Pentacles. Or it's just saying, like, okay, you lost something over here, but ultimately it's fine because you're the King of Pentacles, so why would you even bother with the few things that you've lost? I think that's fine. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. And I'm going to actually move on from Scorpio because I feel like I'm not going to get any more cards here right now. Let's put these back in the deck. Get the vice versa back out. Next one up is Cancer. Let's first shuffle these guys. Don't normally do a live tarot reading, so if I seem all over the place, then it's because this is the first live stream that I've done tarot in. Therefore, might seem a little chaotic, but it's okay. We'll get through it. I feel like I need to twist this. And we're going to shuffle these and see what's up for Cancer this month. There we go. All right, Cancer, you're up next. What do we got? What does Cancer need to be mindful of in the next month or so? Or what can we expect for Cancer? Nope, that one flipped, but it didn't fall. If I had a deck in my hand with solid backs and not double-sided, like the vice versa tarot that I'm currently using, then a flipped card, I would definitely grab that. But in this case, they can go anyway, so I'm just going to leave it as is. These guys I am going to grab. We got the Seven of Cups and the Magician. Okay, so we got like a lot of potential for our Cancers today. Cancerians, rather. I always find the word Cancer so negative because it has a other counterpart in the world that's not great. So we got some options here, maybe some wishful thinking, although of course it's more like a dreams type of thing. The Seven of Cups, we have the Magician, so your dreams could be manifested if you let go of something of the past, because we have the Six of Cups here as well, right? Yes, got it correctly this time. Like we see this person laying in the water over there. What's the other side? Oh, the other side is just somebody looking on. Okay, I hadn't actually looked at the other side of this card before. So yes, if you let go of something in the past, you might actually be able to manifest something, because it's almost like the Six Cups over here are some of the cups that are also on this Seven of Cups card right here. So maybe you're holding on to too many wishes and dreams, and you really need to focus on one thing in particular, to focus with the Magician right here. And then you'll be able to make that come true. It might be something that you've wanted for a long time, because the Six of Cups is also like a past card. Usually past remembrances, melancholy, And the Five of Cups is here as well in reverse, which is always like a crying over spilled milk card. You need to let go of something. Yeah, I think this is so far a fairly clear lineup in the sense that you need to let go of at least some of the things that you want, some of the wishes. Not necessarily like that you can't ever have them, but in order to manifest at least one, or the most important one, you're going to have to focus on that, because the Magician is also somebody who's really good at focusing. He's able to control all the different suits because he has one of each in his grasp. He's holding up the wand, like I'm going to summon this thing into existence, and he can't really summon anything if it's like a whole slew of things that you're focusing on. He really needs you to focus on one thing. So Cancers out there that are trying to get everything manifested, maybe focus on one thing first and look at the rest later. Again, the moon. This is actually the third time that the moon has come up in these readings. Out of the 6 that we've had so far, 3 of them had the moon, so there's a lot of secrets this month. You guys are like this. So there might be stuff going on in the background, and I read this currently as the reason why you can only focus on one thing, or you can't go for any of the other 6, if there are 6 dreams, of course, is because there's stuff happening in the background that you're not aware of, and that you need to sort out first, or not need to be sorted out first. We have the Knight of Swords. That's like charging off into the wind, and perhaps maybe also speaking your mind, or rather charging off and running tangents verbally, mentally. Because I feel like this is more like your mental energy, like your thoughts are all over the place as well. But it could also mean like because there are hidden things, you tend to run off in a certain direction, and that might not be the best thing for you right now. I think you need to control your thoughts about these things, focus on stuff. 5 of Wands, normally like a sparring type of card. Maybe you want to actually seek somebody out and talk about that thing that you want to manifest, or get some help in that regard. It seems almost like they're trying to fight each other, but I always see this more as just trying to hammer stuff out together a little bit more. It's a more friendly card than the 5 of Swords, for instance, where they're actually fighting each other. I always see this as just sparring, perhaps physically going out there doing stuff with people, perhaps to test the waters as well. Maybe you want to try something out, like if one of the things that you wanted to always have done is public speaking, for instance, then perhaps going out there and actually doing it might be a good idea. It's going to be a little tricky, it's going to be a little hard maybe, perhaps also stepping outside of your comfort zone, but it's necessary in order to manifest that thing that you want to do. Like if one of the things that you've always wanted to do is start a business, then perhaps you need to actually get started. That's the type of energy I'm getting from this card. We do here see 5 of Pentacles, so do watch your spending, because it could be that you're spending on the wrong things. I do feel like you, at least the people who this applies to, it doesn't have to apply to all the Cancer people watching, obviously, that they have a certain scattered way of thinking and feeling about certain things, and perhaps that might lead to some misspending going on. And you need to watch that. It's also another 5 card. Oh, hello. This one sat on my sleeve. Yeah, you might want to walk away from certain things. This person is definitely focusing on all these cups, but normally the 8 of Cups is like leaving stuff behind. Follow this one star instead of just staring these guys down, is what this card is saying to me. Yeah, you have like a scattered energy, 2 5s. So try something out and make sure to spend on the correct things. Oop, those are going off screen. These are the last 2. Fool is in reverse, and we have the 8 of Swords. Yeah, this is actually a fairly clear one. At least I see this as a fairly clear one. This just continues the story that we've had so far. Walk away from the multitude of things that you wanted to do. Focus on one thing. Don't just keep wandering around expecting all the other stuff to be manifested at the same time as well, because this card to me seems like normally you would do that. You would take this 7 of Cups and just go with the flow and just let everything happen and feel like you're going to get everything at the same time, and at the same time also wonder why it is that you're not actually getting any of that, because we have the 8 of Swords here, like you're keeping yourself trapped thinking that you need to get all this stuff done, but it's much better to focus on one thing at a time, and then you can get out of this quagmire of thoughts that you found yourself in. There. that's quite a coherent story, at least compared to the other readings that we've done for the different star signs. I feel like this is actually a fairly straightforward reading. So you need to make sure to focus, and then you'll be able to manifest at least one of the things that you've always wanted, as long as you make sure to keep that one thing in mind instead of just running with everything that comes to mind. Because there are things going on in the background that make it so that you can't get everything at the same time. Go out there and try some things, spend only on the things that you really need to spend on, and then eventually you're going to get that one thing manifested this month. So focus your energy is the main message here. Okay, so that's Cancer. That was Cancer done. Then we're going to move on to the air signs. Aquarius, I said we were going to do next. Let's shuffle this one real quick. There, we can just do this one over here. Like so. That's that one. And this is the Angel Tarot deck. Oh, come on. Always makes a lot of noise, so I hope it's not too noisy. There, Aquarius. When the moon is in the 7th house. Okay, let's not try to get copyright claimed. Not that my singing is that great, but still. Aquarius. What is Aquarius supposed to watch out for within the next month or so? Or at least focus on? That's 4 already. This is the World. All right, World might be watching you. We got the 6 of Pentacles here, so it's in reverse, so no Charity again. And we have here the 8 of Wands. Is that right? That's 8 of Wands, yes. So there might be messages incoming, and Death is in reverse. So that's an unwillingness to let something go. All right. What else can we find here? Now, 8 of Wands is also often seen as online communication, so you might be getting some stuff virtually. There might be social media posts that really strike you a certain way. Oh, that one. What do we got? The 5 of... Oh, that's just the 5. The Hierophant, all right, in reverse. All right, somebody higher up again. Perhaps either doing something wrong or losing favor. Well, that's interesting. So you're not potentially going to get the charity that you might be expecting. And the World is also here. With the 8 of Wands. So there's going to be a message that I think is going to be fairly felt wide all over. Like that's why the World is here. And it's not going to be too... At least it's going to affect... resources negatively somewhat. Not super negatively, perhaps. We don't know yet because we're not done yet, but I think it's mostly somebody who I feel like you may have depended on. This Hierophant over here is going to be, I don't know, exposed in some way. It's not a super big thing yet, as far as we are aware. We have here the Sun. Okay, that's great. And the King of Swords is back. He was here earlier as well. Once again, the swords are very strong, they say. Let's see. King of Swords and the Sun. It's almost like there's 2 people here that you kind of admire, or at least rely on in a certain way. And we're going to hear some news about some of them not letting something go, or losing favor, or losing face in that way. But we also have here the King of Swords, who's going to come through and actually light up the day a little bit, because that's the Sun card. It's always like a joyful new life, almost like a childhood joy type card. Like they might actually come in and save the day for the Hierophant, or perhaps make it seem like it's not so bad for you after all. Hey, we have the 8 of Cups back. Unable to let something go, because we also have the Death card. Oops, sorry, bumped the microphone. Death card is also reversed, and we have the 8 of Cups in reverse. Hierophant's in reverse. So this person is unable to let something go. Something is exposed about them. There's news coming out about them, or there's certain action being taken by them. And it's like they're unwilling to let something go that's going to affect them negatively. But we do see the sun here with the sword. I'm going to put that one over here, King of Swords. Maybe you, but I feel like this is somebody else, King of Swords. So far, I don't see you represented in here. Yeah, this looks like people who influence you. Like I said, 8 of Wands can also mean social media. So this person is going to be carrying quite the burden. It is a 6 of Wands though, so perhaps they will eventually come back on top. Maybe that's why the sun is also here, like they're having a moment over here, a negative moment. And eventually they're going to come out on top again, because I guess stuff will be coming to light, but they're going to be unwilling to let something go as well. Let's see about this King of Swords over here with the Sun card. Whoops, there we go. Lots of them. High Priestess. Somebody's following their intuition. And we have here the Hangman, New Perspective. You got the most cards of anybody right now. 2 of Pentacles in reverse though, so it's like a lack of balance, perhaps rash decisions financially. That might also be the reason why this person is coming into the news or onto social media. And this is the Queen of Wands in reverse. Okay, so they may be taking some incareful actions. Might be in the past that they did something, they were very careless, and they actually don't want to apologize for that. They're unwilling to walk away. They're just unapologetic about what it is that they did. And then we have here High Priestess. I think this King of Swords over here is going to strike some type of balance with that, maybe have some insight that makes it okay. And that's why the 6 of Wands over here is also showing up, like there's going to be somebody else who's going to step in and say, okay, this is the reason why, or I have an insight in this, or I thought about it, and this is what's happening, X, Y, and Z. And that makes it all right for this Hierophant person. So you may initially feel like somebody's falling from grace, but don't take too many rash actions, because we do have the Queen of Wands here for you as well. And just let it all play out. Somebody, or maybe even you, will have the insight that you need in order to see it through and understand what's happening really behind the scenes, what I'm hearing. And that'll make it okay, because the sun will eventually light everything up and make it a more positive event, or at least pull you out of the doldrums, I guess. Like, it won't be so negative for you anymore. Okay, that's what I'm seeing over here. Yeah, Hangman is very important, I feel, because the Hangman really shows that you need to take a step back and take a new perspective, along with High Priestess, who meditates on things. And perhaps the world might be a little bit upset about this. And that's why we have the reversed 6 of Pentacles. But you need to take a step back and not go along with the crowd in this sense. I think that's what they're trying to say. Cool your jets is what I'm hearing. And just relax. Oh, the dog is dreaming somewhere off in the distance. I don't know if you can hear that. She's having a very wild dream apparently. But don't get drawn into the heat of the moment by this news, because eventually it's going to turn out that it's not as big a deal as it might have looked like, and eventually it's going to be okay. That's what I'm seeing for Aquarius. All right, that's Aquarius done. Let's go to the next deck in the next sign. Next I have here Gemini. Let's first get these cards shuffled. Oh, relax. Oh, there she is. She had a very exciting day yesterday as well, so probably she's dreaming about my brother and my aunt and my mom running around the house. Normally we're here just the 2 of us, so probably that was very exciting. All right, so Gemini. For Gemini, I'm grabbing my Creatures of the Magical Forest again. Let's see what we have for them. Whoop. Do you guys want to fall? No? Okay. Gemini, what's up for you in the next month? These guys. The High Priestess is back. She's going to go to the next reading. Very interesting. You're doing great. Thank you very much. We have here the Chariots in reverse, and we have, oh, we got the Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles reversed again, Nine of Swords in reverse. That's a continual worry over here for my Geminis. Not too good. You might want to watch that. So the first 4 cards we have for Gemini is that you may need to focus again with the meditation and the intuition, because you might be getting in your own way with the reversed Chariot over here, robbing yourself of opportunities due to continued worry and anxiety. Not sure what the cause of that is, but you might have more of that this next month than usual. So watch for that. What else can we see for Gemini? Oops. Again, we got more over there. Our Knight of Swords is back. I always have repeat cards, so you might actually run off and say things and think things that aren't really true, or perhaps a little bit too hasty. Again, 5 of Cups reversed. This happens all the time. I get the same cards over and over again. But in this case, it's for Gemini, so if you're unwilling to let something go and see that you still have things that you might not have looked at before, you might end up falling down this rabbit hole over here. Okay, we have the King of Swords again. The swords are really interested in coming out today. Oh, this is the Queen, sorry. Can't really tell. She has a slightly pink outfit on maybe, but it does say Queen of Swords. So Queen of Swords here. Again, she was here earlier as well, one of the previous readings, along with her husband was somewhere else in other readings. The Royals of the Swords are very present today, so people are really lashing out verbally, perhaps. Like maybe there's some stuff happening this month that's going to affect people in general, but certain suits will have, or certain signs will have different reactions to that. Some will feel very let down, like Scorpio. Others will lash out verbally, like in this case, Gemini. Try not to do that. Try to take a step back and see what you've got left, because the 5 of Cups in reverse in this case almost seems like you feel like you're lacking something. There are certain emotions that will not go away. Again, with the swords over here, Knight of Swords, there's just a certain lingering anxiety that you may have been feeling, or that might be with you this month and might make you act out, because the Knight of Swords tends to charge into battle without really looking into things too deeply, and will maybe say things that will hurt them in the long run. There we go. Let's see, and that might cost you your opportunities. So you need to focus on your intuition and your meditating practices. Try to take a step back, be a little zen, perhaps. Mindfulness was very hot a few years ago. It might still be, I don't know. I haven't actually watched any Eckhart Tolle videos in a while. Pretty sure it still applies though, so make sure to focus on that. And I know, because I have a Gemini moon, that we tend to think a lot, and we might want to not do that. We also have 8 of Pentacles in reverse, loss of focus, maybe working on things that aren't quite as important that you feel might be important. That might be part of the reason why you're so anxious as well. And the Hermit is in reverse. You need to step out, or you're showing yourself more than you usually would. Yeah, the 8 of Pentacles I feel is really important here, because you have so much anxieties here. You tend to do things rather harshly, or you might be doing things rather harshly or quickly without thinking about it. You might be putting a lot of time and effort into things that don't matter, or don't matter as much as you think they do. They might matter in the long run. We don't know. But I think most importantly right now is to step out of your comfort zone, perhaps. And maybe also this could serve as almost like the Hangman energy is what I'm getting here as well. Like the Hermit normally stays inside and focuses on his own thing. You do need to do some intuitive searching here, but I think you need to step out of that little comfortable shell that you've built for yourself, even though you might not feel like it's very comfortable, because you do have a lot of stress and anxiety here. But, you know, the hell you know is often more comfortable, or at least you think it's more comfortable than the hell that you don't know. But I feel like you do need to go out there and do things. Let's see. I feel like we want at least one more card for our Geminis, because I'm all too familiar with the overthinking. Like sometimes I'll receive an email for work and I think it says one thing and I'm already typing the response. And then it turns out when I read it again that actually they didn't mean it quite as harshly as they At least as I thought it was, because I read a sentence a certain way. And I feel like you might be similar in that sense. One more card for the Geminis. Whoop. Okay, I said one more card. Half the stack wants to fall out. That can't be it. But on top, we have here the Emperor. Okay, so there's somebody perhaps who is going to step up, or somebody whom you admire. It's going to be featuring prominently this month. Whoop. And lastly, the Hierophant. Hey, we had the Hierophant just now as well, also in reverse. So maybe somebody who is quite public is going to be in the limelight this month, perhaps not in the greatest. And this could be your King of Swords, like we had that in the Aquarius reading just now, who's going to set things in perspective. Maybe it's also saying like there's people out there who are very important, in quotation marks, in this world, and we tend to attach ourselves to them. And when things happen to them, we tend to get upset by that. We feel personally affected. But like the reading before, we might want to take a step back out of that and just focus on ourselves first. And perhaps this Emperor over here is going to be the one to shine light on it for you, where we have the King of Swords for Aquarius, making the sun come out. But I think for you in particular, it's going to be most important just to get out of your own head and to focus on what's really there rather than what you feel like is there or what you feel you've lost. So that is what I'm seeing for the Geminis. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff with the swords, like I said, and communication. The Hierophant keeps popping up, so I think maybe there's somebody out there in the public eye that's going to have some issues in the next foreseeable future. So you might want to make sure to stick to our own lane instead of getting super excited over other people, is what I'm seeing so far. That's Gemini. Okay, next for the air signs, we got Libra. If you're a Libra, this is the time to pay attention. Of course, maybe nobody watching currently is Libra, but perhaps people watching later. Let's see, Libra. What do we have for Libra this month? Whoops, there we go. Tower. Nine of Wands in reverse. An internal weariness. And we have a reversed Knight of Cups. Somebody focusing on themselves. This looks already like somebody who is going to be going through some trouble. So Libras might be having some issues this month, and they're going to feel very tired. And they're going to be very introspective, but in a negative sense. Quite like feeling very woe is me. Not that there's like no reason for that, because we do have a tower event over here. And that might be quite a shock. Let's see what else we can get. I do see, though, that it might be a bit too much woe is me for the Libras. You might be a little bit too feeling down about that. Knight of Cups is always somebody very much focused on themselves. You kind of see them as well. They're focusing mostly on the cup and not so much where the horse is going. So this might be a common pattern for you, that you tend to kind of just, I don't know, sulk, I guess. Oh. What do we got? We got these guys over here. Again, with the Six of Wands in reverse. But we do see some opportunities over here for a new beginning, almost like it's like the tower over here is a door slamming, and you might feel very upset about that. Like I said, you're going to turn inwards, a bit of navel gazing, perhaps feeling like you've lost it. You're no longer the captain of the football team, to give an example. But we do see some new opportunities here. Might be falling out with somebody. And this is the Nine of Swords as well. Again, with the anxiety. We had that just a moment ago as well. But at least this one's upright, so I feel like this is more of an temporary anxiety, because if it were reversed, then it's something that's really nestled deep inside of you. I feel this is a temporary thing. You're going to have a temporary falling out with somebody. But like I said here with the wand, the Ace of Wands, you're going to have some opportunities arising if you go look for them. Because you need to take them. Sometimes opportunities come knocking on your door, and if you're too much focused on this whole negative aspect, the previous loss, you might miss it. I feel that it is important to keep your eyes open and realize that these things are temporary. Towers are never really the end of the line. There are no negative cards in the tarot, by the way. Even the devil is not that big of a deal if you keep the right perspective on it. So what else can we say for our Libras? We've got space for a few more cards. Oh, there we go. That's a few more than I was expecting, but that's okay. Yeah, we got this here. 5 of Pentacles again. We got a lot of cards, actually. I said a few more cards, but I think we got at least 6. We have here, this might be the person that you're quarreling with. Actually, the Ace of Wands, what am I saying? The Queen of Wands reversed looks like she's literally turned her back on you. And even though she might normally have been somebody to really do a lot for you, because the wands are a very actionable suit, I feel like she might be turning her back on you, and that's why we have here the 5 of Pentacles. This is the other side, by the way. Normally 5 of Pentacles is somebody outside in the snow, outside by a very lovely looking window, but in this case we see the inside of that, which is a nobleman also not feeling great, even though they're on the inside of this lovely looking house. So that shows that everybody has problems. But in this case, it's reversed. So it's almost like somebody who looked like they would do you a lot of good, actually leaving you alone. And I think that somebody is this Queen of Wands. That's what I'm getting. 5 of Wands, you're walking away from them after a combat situation or a verbal jousting, perhaps. Like you have perhaps said a few things, or maybe they've said a few things that weren't too great. Once again, we got our Knight of Swords. Like I said, all the swords are very active today, but that's going to lead you, or perhaps you should, take a new perspective. Hanged Man is back, so you can move on for yourself. And perhaps not keep wishing for things to come true, because the 7 of Cups is in reverse. We see here the Knight of Pentacles. He's kind of overlooking the disaster over there. But the thing with the Knight of Wands as well, Knight of Pentacles as well, is I always see them as a very stable person. And even though they're looking at this desolate wasteland over here, they do realize that eventually they can move on and just start over somewhere else, because they are, at least as far as I'm concerned, the most stable of the knights. They never really charge off anywhere. They'll just look at the land as it lies and then continue to work on that, very stubbornly, as a matter of fact. And perhaps this also makes you realize that some of the wishes and dreams that you had are just not viable due to this new perspective. So I feel like our Libras are going to be having a falling out with somebody or something, probably a person, and that's going to lead them to this tower moments. I think these are one and the same, this event right here. And even though they're going to be feeling pretty downtrodden after a while, they're going to end up picking up themselves by getting a new perspective and seeing that there are also opportunities because of this whole falling out. Because sometimes it just popped into my head, and whenever something pops in my head, I like to talk about that as well, because it might be related to some of your issues. Sometimes you're in a relationship with somebody, or just in a certain friendship or something, and it's kind of toxic, and you just don't really have the nerve to say or at least call people out on certain things that they're doing. And then something happens, you have a fight with them, and you're like, okay, this is my chance, now I gotta go. So don't spend too much time sulking. If this is somebody that you've been meaning to kind of let go of quietly, perhaps peacefully, and it just doesn't work that way, you just have this big falling out, then just take the opportunity and run. I think that's what we're seeing here for our Libras. That was a long story. There we go. Had to take a breather there for a second. Okay, so that's Libra. Nice. So even though it looks kind of negative, I think that you're going to come to a realization that you don't always need people that you think you do. And you should take the chance when it arrives. All right, moving on to, I think it's the Angel Tarot again. Yeah, we have the Magical Forest one just now. And And we're moving on to Virgo. That's my own suit, or sign rather, in case people were wondering. Virgo Sun, Gemini Moon, Scorpio Rising. And then you get a very strange person, and that is me. Okay, anyway, so Virgos, what is up for you this month? Let's see. What do we got for the Virgos? What is up for the Virgos? Okay, in videos, I always like to cut out most of the shuffling. Of course, here it's not going to work. That is a lot of cards here. We started off with this one, though. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. All right, so there might be something going on there. We have the 2 of Pentacles. This might be some imbalance financially, because we have the 2 and the 5 right here. We got death again, unwilling to let something go. We have the 5 of Cups, so we also need to keep an eye on things that we're losing, and that's not everything that we're losing. 2 of Swords reverse, I always see as almost an unwillingness to see the other side of the perspective, and almost like a bloody-mindedness, as they say in the UK, a single focus on something. 9 of Wands reverse, so kind of like head over heels actions, but perhaps rather the opposite. You're going to hold back from that. And the 7 of Wands. All right, so that's like people coming for you because they're jealous. All right, so we might be seeing some people who feel like you're really good at something, and they don't like that. We have here, who is this? The Hierophant again. And the Page of Pentacles. Okay. But in this case, the Hierophant is upright, so that's interesting. Are we all looking at the same person? And some people, it looks like they're falling under people, like going, yay, that's great. Or maybe they're actually helping us out. I don't know. Page, of course, being a surprise once again. In this case, Page of Pentacles, surprise opportunity, perhaps small opportunities coming up that you weren't expecting, perhaps due to this Hierophant coming in and saying, hey, actually, maybe you want to do this. This almost seems like good advice down the road. Like we see here the 5 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles next to each other, next to death, which to me seems like unwilling to let something go, even though it's not in balance financially. The cards are kind of disappearing off screen, sorry. So unwilling to let go of some type of negative investment, maybe. Again, with the 5 of Cups here as well, like we're personally invested in something that we're doing financially that's not great. And the 2 of Swords in reverse also shows that. And people are kind of coming for us, calling us out on that. In particular, a Hierophant person, somebody who is at the top of some type of food chain or perhaps some type of organization that we respect, who is actually going to come in with a surprise opportunity, perhaps, maybe even a surprise investment in you. Maybe they'll be coming in and saying, hey, you want that course, right? You want to go and learn this or that. Here's an opportunity to do that as well. I'm still working on this Knave of Wands here. Like maybe there's actions that you should take. Perhaps it's just saying be careful with the actions you take, because the Knave of Wands or the Page of Wands upright tends to be very head over heels. Again, the knee-jerk reactions, but in this case, it's like you're stopping that, or at least not taking the actions that perhaps you should, because there's a lot of not letting go in this line as well. Somebody else is giving you opportunity regardless. Let's see what else we can get for our Virgos. What's with the Virgos this month? Virgos are very stubborn. I know, because I am one. And even though we might already see the signs that we need to move on, we might stubbornly hold on to things because we feel that it's better this way. Let's see now. This whole stack landed upside down, so I'm not going to grab everything. That one and this one. We have here the 5 of Swords. All right, so we might actually have a bit of a conflict with somebody. And we have here the 9 of Cups. But it's not going to be a negative thing. I think ultimately we're going to be feeling up pretty good about ourselves because of this. Because the 9s always read as like an individual thing, independence thing. I think even though we are very stubborn, or we're going to be very stubborn this month, this Page of Cups over here with the Hierophant is going to offer us an opportunity. We might actually struggle with it for a while because we do have the Five of Swords. I feel like this is almost like somebody's going to challenge us because we do have the Seven of Wands here, where we're going to end up coming out on top and feeling good about that. Like somebody is actually coming at us and we're like, okay, no, we're too smart for you. We're just going to outsmart you, and we're not going to take rash actions, and we're going to feel good about it at the end of the day. I do feel like we do need to work on the stubbornness over here. That might be something that we might want to watch. The Death card came up here, and some people see the Death card as, ooh, we have to let something go. We really need to work on that because it's not always a bad thing to have some change and make sure to look at what you still have rather than everything that you've lost. So letting go is the big theme this month, I think, for many people. And we need to stop being so stubborn. Stop being stubborn, Virgo. I know you. I see you. Okay. They all came out real quick. And I know Virgos like to be to the point, so that's good for them. That is Virgo. We have two left. You have Capricorn and Taurus. Bringing up the rear. Not surprising for Taurus, because Taurus likes to be slow and steady, wins the race. The Drawer of the Magical Forest is next. Oops, hang on. I wasn't done yet. I was still going to shuffle you guys. For Capricorn. What can we see for you? Capricorn is next. And yes, this is my Easter tablecloth for the new people coming in. It isn't necessarily an Easter themed reading, but it is an Easter themed table for me. Capricorn, what's happening for you in the next month or so? What do you need to watch? Anything at all? There's always something, of course. Oh, there we go. That one in particular, again, no charities. This is the third time I think that this one's popped up. Maybe the second time, but we have a lot of this Pentacles reversed energy. Don't feel like all of these are needed. This one and Gammon. These guys, okay. Nine of Wands, internal weariness, it's in reverse. We also have the Four of Pentacles, so we are trying very hard to keep our finances and resources balanced, or Capricorn is anyway. And this is the King of Wands in reverse, so perhaps acting a little too rashly, or perhaps not too super careful. Now, King of Wands usually knows exactly what he wants, but I feel like he's not taking any chances. That might be what this is, because we have the Fool in reverse here as well. So I feel like you're not taking any chances this month, Capricorn. Even though you might actually feel like this might not be an actual event, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, like there might be people coming for your money. I don't think that's the case. I feel like you're wary of that, though. That's why we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. You're very careful. You've probably had some issues in the past with finances. Maybe your job has been, I guess, at risk, and that's why you're being very careful and being very careful with your energies, making sure to focus on everything that you're doing. Let's turn them a bit so that the camera actually has them upright, or straight, I guess you could say. So our Capricorns are being careful and very methodical, I feel like. The Four of Pentacles never take any chances. We have here the Lovers and the reversed Tower. Yeah, here we go again. Not really letting anything go. There might be a situation here with a person perhaps, or maybe because of a person, that you feel like maybe needs to change, but you're holding off on that. Maybe like something just came up, like perhaps you have a certain situation, people relying on you, and that's why you don't want to take any chances right now. Capricorn, of course, is an earth sign. We're always very careful. We're not the ones to take huge financial risks unless we've calculated the potential outcomes, and we feel like it's a good idea to do that. But the Four of Pentacles in this case is saying we're not going to do that this month. At least Capricorn's not. Whoop, this one too. I wanted to fall, but I wanted to grab these. I'll take it. All right, so we're not taking any rests here, Capricorn. Apparently you're just going to keep working very hard for somebody. Perhaps you're working hard for a relationship. Perhaps we have the Empress here. Yep, you're definitely trying to nurture people, trying to take care of as many people as you can. Yeah, that's definitely the working hard to keep the bread on the table energy that we're seeing here for Capricorn. I feel like I want to have at least one more card for you guys. Oh, there's one. And Judgment, withholding judgment, because judgment is in reverse. Maybe you shouldn't judge yourself too harshly. I feel like with all this hard work energy that you have right here, you might not, I guess the thing is, like, you might feel like you need to work this hard, like nobody else can do this but you, and you might want to work on taking care of yourself here as well, with the Empress coming up as well, because you're perhaps postponing, I don't want to say a burnout, but I do feel like you're really burning the midnight oil here. You might want to keep an eye on your energy levels, and there might be people here, because the Lover's card is here as well, that can help you take better care of yourself. And don't feel like you're slacking off or something like that, because I really feel like you're not at all, because I feel that you're working very hard here with the Nine of Wands as well. You're not taking anybody's charity with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Trying to keep the ball rolling, and like I said, bread on the table. Just keep the lights burning in the house, and you might feel like you need to take a break, but you're not letting yourself. I think that's why the Four of Swords is in reverse. So maybe you want to do that. Just take a breather every once in a while. It's not really something to be too judgmental about if you need to take an extra 5 minutes. Sometimes you want to take an extra 5 minutes laying in bed in the morning because you just don't feel ready to get up yet. Don't worry too much about that. Sometimes I have this thing, like I'll be a little late for logging off for work because everybody works from home right now, and I'll feel really bad about being 1 or 2 minutes late, but you really don't need to beat yourself up about that, because usually also a couple of minutes late with logging off at the end of the day, probably. Maybe you stay an extra half an hour, like you feel guilty about having been a couple of minutes late, and then you overdo it, kind of that type of thing. I don't think you should do that. You need to take better care of yourself, so don't be too stubborn. You're going to keep the ball rolling regardless of what happens, I feel. And this Tower over here might be a disaster waiting in the future if you don't take better care of yourself. I feel like you're currently being able to keep that, postpone that moment. And if you keep going, it might end up getting worse and worse. So make sure to take your breaks when you need to, and don't feel bad about it. That's what I'm seeing for our Capricorns. Another quick reading. I don't think we need to say too much about this. Just make sure to keep breathing and take care of yourself. You'll be able to take care of other people. Let other people take care of you as well, because I feel like the Empress might be self-love and care, but it could also be other people that want to take care of you, but you feel like you shouldn't accept that. That's where you're judging yourself. And it's okay if somebody cooks for you or cleans or something along those lines. If somebody offers, for instance, to come clean your house one day because you look tired, might not have to be that specifically, but you know, if somebody offers to do something for you to take some load off, don't worry about that making you look weak. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's it for Capricorn, I feel. All right. Last but not least, we're going to take a look at Taurus. Shuffle these guys again. Oop. They started stacking. All right, you guys get to go off to the side, take a break, Capricorn, and now we've got Taurus coming in, bringing up the rear. Oh, come on, guys. There. All right, Taurus. Let's see what's up for Taurus this month. Or the next time coming up. Doesn't have to be exactly a month, could be a month and a half, but in any case, in the foreseeable future, what do we have for Taurus? Lots. We got lots for Taurus. Empress in reverse. So you might also not be taking great care of yourself, although Taurus is usually somebody who likes their comfort. I feel like all of these are in the reading as well. You may have been spending time on things that aren't really worth your time. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And we have here, this is strength, but the other side, normally you see this one, but in this case we're looking at strength in reverse, upside down as well. So this is like you're maybe working too hard on things and you're starting to push that tower that Capricorn was successfully holding off. You might actually need to take a break because we do see here the Four of Swords. This one's more clear warning for you. Like, okay, you might have been burning a midnight oil just like your friend Capricorn. But for you, the buck does stop here. You need to take a break. What do we got here? This is Justice reverse, but the back side of it. It's upright, but it's the back side of Justice. Like, I think you might be feeling like things are not just right now for you, and you're not manifesting what you want. It is the Magician. He's upright, but he's facing the other way, and I feel like this is not a look behind the curtain like you would see with the High Priestess, but more like you're manifesting the things that you don't want. Like, you might have a certain focus on negative things, and oh, we see him coming up right here, the Tower. So you might be manifesting exactly what you don't want, and just like over here with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, you're working on things that are not good for you. And that is something to watch out for, because here we have him, the Tower, the back. So you might actually have a bit of an issue this month. This is a Nine of Pentacles, so it's not going to be something with your actual resources. I feel like it's the Nine of Pentacles upright is definitely you being able to take care of yourself, holding your own. And we have here the Moon in reverse, so you're going to be able to figure things out that may have been hidden for other people. Secrets may be coming to light for you. Okay, that might also be in your favor. That's why the Nine of Pentacles is here. Two of Swords, but the back side of the Two of Swords, you might actually be looking at the issues that are brought up by the Moon, because we are looking at the very big Moon in this card as well, and unable to make up your mind about something. So this revealing of secrets here might actually throw you for a loop, I think, is the thing here. Who is this? This is, I believe this is the Queen of Swords. I told you, she's back again. We got lots of kings and queens of swords today. I don't know what's up with them. A lot of mental energy. Anyway, so yes, we got here the Queen of Swords. She's very logical. I feel like the Queen of Swords is saying, okay, you might see things coming up over here with the Moon reverse, and we see, of course, you being of two minds. But because it is the Queen of Swords who is very logical and able to cut through the Georgian knot or Gregorian knot, I don't know what it is, the knot that couldn't be untied, and that Alexander the Great just kind of chopped through with his sword to solve it, quote unquote. I think you're able to do that with your mind very rationally. You're able to see it through regardless, so you won't be stuck or shouldn't be stuck on this here Two of Swords. And I feel like saying, like, sometimes the answer is obvious, particularly because you have the Moon reversed over here. You're able to see things that other people might not see, or see them before they see them. And therefore you're able to just cut through the BS. I don't want to swear on YouTube, but still, you know what I mean. And I think that's going to be in your favor. And I think the Tower actually helps with that, because even though this seems like a negative lineup, it seems like you've been running yourself ragged for quite some time, investing in the wrong things, and then suddenly you come to a sudden halt with the Tower energy, and you're like, oh wait, so this is what's going on. Well, actually I have a pretty good reply to that. I know exactly how to deal with that, King or Queen of Swords rather, and you're going to end up making a positive thing out of it ultimately. So this Tower event's nothing really to be afraid of, but it is going to be a sudden thing possibly coming up that makes it all clear for you. That might be it actually. That might be the reason why you have this whole working yourself ragged thing. You might have been chasing the wrong thing. You might have been working on false premises, under false premises, and losing your strength because of it, and then suddenly the Tower event happens and you're able to actually flip this Magician around, because now you suddenly see what's happening in the universe and around you, so to speak, and you're able to get what you need out of that with your calm logic and reasoning, because the Taurus is very methodical. Whoop, there we go. 2 last cards for you. You have here, what is this? This is the Page of Cups. Yeah, there's no surprises here because it's actually looking the other way. You might surprise somebody else because this is the back side of the Page of Cups. Normally the surprise is for you if they're facing you, but in this case you might be surprising somebody else. We have here the other side of the cup, or the Ace of Cups, sorry, and that is a very saucy looking card. I don't know what this deck was thinking, but okay, this one looks almost like an Instagram model, but fine. So yes, you might be actually offering somebody else a new love prospect. You might actually find out through this whole thing that you actually really like somebody, and then you might actually offer them an opportunity to go for coffee, virtually perhaps, but you might be looking at somebody else's affection, or trying to get their affection in a very logical way, because usually the Queen of Swords is very logical, but you can also use that logic to say, okay, you know what, you're the person for me, let's just go do this thing, and this is the reason why it's going to work, X, Y, and Z, and you'd be crazy not to go for it because you're actually the perfect person for me and the perfect person for you. Let's just do this. That might be the type of offer that you're offering somebody else, and that might come out of nowhere for this other person, come out of left field, because it is the Page of Cups. Obviously, they tend to have emotional surprises. So that's interesting. You might be offering people things that they weren't expecting once you've seen the light through the reversed moon. That is Taurus, and that is the last of the 12 signs. And that is also going to be the end of this stream. So if you guys liked this stream, make sure to let me know that in the comment section once the stream is done loading. I'm going to end it here for now. Hope you'll have a nice continuation of the day. If you still have Easter, make sure to have a nice rest of the Easter holiday for you. And maybe we'll do this again in another month. In any case, thanks for watching. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you'd like. That'd be great. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.